have a fun exercise for everybody who says both political parties are the same. I get an email every week that shows me all the bills that Congress is going to be working on for that week. Well, I just got the latest one, and I want to share with you what the two chambers are working on. The House, run by Republicans, versus the Senate, run by Democrats. So let's start with the House bills. These are the ones that the House majority decided are the most important bills to bring up for a vote this week, with the very limited amount of time that the House has in session. So, Republican Priority Bill number 1, H.R. 3195. It's called the Superior National Forest Restoration Act. Sounds nice, right? Actually, this bill would reissue mining leases that were blocked by the Biden administration in 2022, and also block any rule preventing mining leases in the region for 2 decades. Next one is H.R. 764. It's called Trust the Science Act. This bill would require the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to remove the gray wolf from the endangered species list. H.R. 615 would prohibit the banning of lead ammunition, which PS is easily replaced and kills between 10 and 20 million birds and animals in the United States every year. It also kills a ton of hunting dogs, so I imagine that's why Republicans like it. But wait, there's more. H.R. 3397. This would block a Bureau of Land Management rule to expand conservation on public land. We have H.Res. 1112, which is just a resolution denouncing the Biden administration's immigration policies, which is rich, coming from the party that wrote an immigration bill that had everything they wanted in it and then killed it when they could have passed it. We've got H.R. 2925, the Mining Regulatory Clarity Act. This just basically lets mining companies mine wherever they want. And finally, H.R. 6285, Alaska's Right to Produce Act. This bill would reinstate oil and gas leases in the Arctic refuge that were revoked by the Biden administration in 2023. Okay, so that's the House's priorities for the week. Those are the bills they would pass if they could. Fortunately, they can't because we hold the Senate and the presidency. But there's more. Let's take a look at what hearings they're going to hold. We've got one called Overreach, an examination of federal statutory and regulatory crimes. They've got one examining the influence of extreme environmental activist groups in the Department of the Interior. Not a thing. Then they're hauling Julie Su up in front of their committee, probably to yell at her about how pro-labor she is. Then one, of course, on the weaponization of the federal government. Let's just say they're certainly experts on it. Now let's take a look at the Senate, which I will remind you is run by Democrats. Their main order of business will be working on the FAA Reauthorization Act. This will provide the FAA $105 billion over 5 years, increase air traffic controller staffing, mandate automatic refunds for significantly delayed or canceled flights, introduce advanced runway safety technology, and more good safety stuff. Democrats will also be confirming a new U.S. district judge. Now let's talk about the hearings they're holding. There's one on addressing Chinese money laundering and narcotic sales. They're having another one on protecting Americans from unauthorized digital replicas, another one on cyber attacks in healthcare, another one on big oil's evolving efforts to avoid accountability for climate change, another one on the humanitarian emergency in Sudan, and also higher prices, how shrinkflation and technology impact consumers' finances, and finally one on the future of broadband affordability. Wow, those sound like things that actually could help Americans. This is a great opportunity to look at which party is working on priorities that actually apply to your life. I think you'll find that they couldn't be more different if they tried. Vote accordingly.